knocked them off of that branch or something rotted. It's pretty interesting. You have to have a strong enough grip strength to withstand holding onto a branch while a jaguar or an ocelot or some type of a big cat would be dangling down off of their back. So obviously they would sustain a lot of damage from that, but their claws have enough grip strength to be able to hold on while something is pulling them down like that.
You have a little ear under there.
He does, and you can move the hair forward and you might be able to see it.
I can feel it. He's got a tiny little ear. Like a little tiger. Right there. Tiny little ear under there.
Were you guys wanting to switch over for just a little bit, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy. Rest you guys.
Did he jump? No, he didn't. Usually loud noises like that startle them pretty hard because their their sense of hearing is actually really good because their eyesight is so poor. You know, if you were to think about us losing one of our senses, our other senses tend to be heightened, and that's the same way with them.
I was gonna ask if they choose to clamp down on something and not let go, it's hard to choose.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's what a lot of times they'll be reaching down, especially Flash when he's out here. If he's reaching down for a veggie, sometimes people will give them their finger, and he'll clamp down on that. And you got to really wiggle your finger out to get it out of his grasp, because if he's clamping down, he's wanting to bring that into him. He has a pretty good grip strength there. Now their claws are curved, so it leaves just a little bit of a gap when they do clamp down. It's not like a vice grip or anything, but you know, clamping down pretty hard.
I noticed y'all have the encounters are just like a couple of times a day, so we really give them opportunity to rest.
Exactly. So, you know, obviously Dash enjoys this. When I uncovered him, he was already starting to climb up to me. Zoe does the same thing. And sometimes earlier I was trying to put her back, and she did not want to get off of me. She just, every time I set her booty down, she's like, no, and just grabbing and grabbing. And I gave her multiple opportunities to, you know, let go of me, and she just did not want to do so. So it took a little bit to get her off, but you know, too much of a good thing can be bad. So they do like this interaction and everything, but if we were to do it a lot, many times throughout the days, you get pretty old for them. You know, because they do sleep a lot. They have to have time for themselves and to decompress and be looking forward to the next encounter. So none of our sloths encounter for more than 2 hours a day total. Flash encounters for 20 minutes at a time. You can book 3 back-to-back encounters with him where you have him for an hour, but then he would have several hours of a break before he was expected to encounter again. And so because of that, it keeps them looking forward to each time that we go in there and try to interact with them. Sometimes you'll see it advertised with places that have sloths as a drop-in sloth encounter or no appointment necessary sloth encounter, and you really have to do your research into places like that because the sloths there never know what time they're going to be encountered, and if you don't have to make an appointment, then they can take people from open to close all day, every day, and just be, you know, back-to-back sloth encounters. And, you know, it's not a good quality of life for the animal. So you really have to pay attention to places like that and do research before you book. So you always try to limit the time that although we love the time we spend with the sloth, and the sloths love it too, we do limit it so it stays like that.
We get overstimulated, but I imagine they do too.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. It's very evident how well cared for and considered, their well-being is here.
We always tell everybody that human safety is our primary concern, but animal comfort is our secondary. So they can't advocate for themselves, they can't say, hey, don't touch me there, hey, I don't like it when you do this, but they display body language. And we weren't raised by sloths, we weren't raised by any type of animal, so we don't always pick up on those type of cues. So it's our job to be specialists on the animals that we work with, so that we can tell people, hey, he's reaching around, kind of clawing at you like that because he doesn't like that you're touching him there, not because he's trying to hold your hand. It's all different things that you've got to pick up on and allow, to communicate that with the person. If the person doesn't choose to listen, then we would encounter. That's always something that's on the top of our priority list, is to make sure that they are comfortable with any type of encounter that they do. And you can tell, some people can come in and they're a little bit apprehensive about interacting with an animal, and it shows not only through their body language, but the animal picks up on that as well.
Yeah.
And so there's been times where Zoe, she's a little bit bigger, so it can be harder to hold her at times. And I've seen before where two friends will come, and one friend really wanted to come and spend time with the sloths, and the other one just kind of came along just to be supportive. And the one friend is like really into it, really comfortable, and really just snuggled in with Zoe. And then it's time to switch, like, okay, well, maybe I'll hold for just a little bit. And then we switch over, and they're just like stiff and just uneasy and aren't really sure about it. And Zoe's just kind of looking around, looking at me like, what is going on? And Donna was telling me the other day that she was doing an encounter one time where they were sitting pretty close, and it was basically like that. The one was really comfortable with Zoe. Zoe just snuggled in and was just really comfortable with her, and then switched over to the guy, and the guy was just like not knowing what to do. And Zoe actually climbed back onto the girl. And we don't do that. We don't let you guys transfer yourselves. We transfer, that way nobody gets dropped. But they were sitting close enough that she was like, see ya, and climbed back over onto the girl. So they can pick up on things like that, and it's our job to try to make everybody comfortable.
So where did you get your education?
I got my bachelor's degree in animal science at the University of Tennessee.
Okay.
So I got that there, and I'm wanting to go to vet school. So I applied to vet school last year and got an interview with UT, which is where I'm wanting to go to finish up and do my vet school at, but didn't get accepted. So I'm hoping that with doing exotics, it'll kind of help, fill me out in places where I was lacking, because I had a lot of large animal and a whole lot of small animal experience, but didn't really have the exotic area covered. So that's why I came down here to try to get a little bit more experience with those guys and be able to make my application more well-rounded. So
your knowledge of the exotic came from hands-on?
yeah, basically. And not just hands-on, I'm working obviously when I'm clocked in, but even when I go home, I'm doing research on my own time, looking at videos, looking at, different types of body language, other people interacting with their sloths, other type of sloth encounters, see how other people do it, what works, what doesn't. So it's a lot of trial and error, but once you get, where we're at and you get it to where it works, then you're gold.
Did you go to UT Knox or UTC?
UT Knoxville.
Where are you going?
Exotic animals aren't really allowed in Nevada.
Really?
Yeah.
You were telling me you'd never seen a possum? And did you see one yet?
No, haven't seen one yet. Still haven't seen a possum. And at some point, I'm gonna find a cow that I can milk.
Oh.
But not that that's exotic or anything. But
Yeah.
it's something that's just not available in Nevada. But I'm determined to see a possum before I go home. And we did. She had skunks in her backyard.
There's a whole little family. Didn't know that there were white skunks.
I didn't know that either. I knew they bred them in captivity, white skunks, but I don't think I've ever seen it out in the wild.
The baby was white.
Oh.
Yeah, stark white, like white.
Did it have any black on it at all?
No,
That's crazy.
mom was primarily white and some black. Dad was primarily black and some white, and the baby was white. So
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they developed.
Well, it probably was some type of a recessive gene that was just in there somewhere that decided to pop out. So, that's had to have been how we got it in captivity. But, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. The baby just like popping behind. white snowball that's falling behind.
Yeah.
I have video and pictures of a deer that came up to my enclosed patio and was trying to lick my cats.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was so friendly.
Huh.
I mean, we just stood there, she saw us, she didn't
Yeah.
run or anything, but it was like, oh, little babies, come here, it was
Yeah.
the sweetest thing.
Yeah. And I've known people that have raised, deer that have been, something's happened to the mother, or they found them in the barn, the mother's nowhere to be seen. They raise them up and then they release them, and they usually tend to be pretty tame. Oh my gosh. She's like, hey guys, what y'all doing?
And the cats are like, I don't know what you
I'm
are.
surprised that the cat didn't.
The boy left the
Oh my
little
gosh.
one, she's a little more adventurous, and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna check this out.
Oh my gosh.
It's really adorable.
That was pretty cool.
That's so funny.
Keep trying to see me.
It's like,
Licking where they were just.
uh-huh. I'm just trying to be a friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you hear somebody? So some scientists actually speculate that when they're turned upside down like that, that's actually their right side up. It makes sense because everything else in their body is geared to be an upside down creature. So everything from the walking mechanism that we talked about, their circulatory system, their digestive tract, everything is supposed to be upside down and works good upside down, so pretty interesting.
And they're marsupials too, right?
They are not, they don't have pouches. No. So when the baby is born, it's born with eyes open, ears open, and their claws are fully developed. They actually have the ability to hold on to a branch and support all of their body weight hanging by just one claw from the moment that they're born. They actually crawl up onto the mother's chest and will stay on the mother's chest for 3 to 4 months before they're weaned.
So much.
Yeah, it's just like, wide awake, just kind of looking around.
His eyes start to get so heavy. Well, our time is up, unfortunately. So, go ahead and get him from you.
Oh, and he knows it, look.
He knows
It's like, I see her coming for me.
So this is how we kind of carried him around when he was real small. Of course, he wasn't as long as my forearm there. He was about half of it.
Wow, it's remarkable how he can wrap
Uh-huh.
his little legs.
And even on the other side.
Yeah,
he's
he's
pretty
like,
dry.
yeah.
Wow. What a joy.
Give you a nap.
Thank you so very
Yes,
much again.
thank you.
I wonder if you guys enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is not something